Iron Maiden and Scorpions are out, again, while Mariah Carey and Eric B. and Rakim are to be celebrated for their massive achievements in rock and roll.
It's just outrageous.
Yes, it is that time of the year again, when Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announces this year's nominees and we all collectively cringe from that list. And every year we metalheads talk about how much we don't really care about Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and who gets in there and who doesn't, and every year it is still obligatory to discuss the list to underline how much we don't care about it, and this time it's actually more fun than usual.
I love it!
So this year, in order to be eligible for the ballot, each nominee's first single or album had to have been released in 1999 or earlier, which of course opens massive opportunities for induction of gazillion rock and metal artists who left an enormous mark on the development of the genre. So let's take a look at who has been nominated for the 2024 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ballot. Mary J. Blige, Mariah Carey, CHER, Dave Matthews Band, Eric B. and Rakim, Foreigner, Peter Frampton, Jane's Addiction, KOOL and the Gang, Lenny Kravitz, OASIS, SINÉAD O'CONNOR, Ozzy Osbourne, SADE, right? That's how you say it, right? SADE, and a tribe called Quest. So the only metal artist nominated for this year's Hall of Fame is Ozzy Osbourne. And I honestly have just one question. How the flip, after being eligible for almost 20 years, this is the first time Ozzy Osbourne is being nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Hello there.
How are you?
Fine.
I mean, yes, it's true that Ozzy, of course, was inducted together with his ex-bandmates as a part of Black Sabbath back in 2006. And I don't want to say that Ozzy Osbourne's solo career is more important or more influential than Black Sabbath. I mean, that would be just stupid. But I'd argue that in a grand scope of rock and roll, it was possibly, equally as important as the one of Black Sabbath. Ozzy Osbourne brought fun and entertainment into heavy metal, bridging the gap between the undergroundness of heavy metal and the mainstream, and rock and metal would never be the genres they are known for today if not for the Prince of Darkness's cringy image combined with amazing music he's produced throughout his career. So yeah, I think most of this channel's viewers of course do believe that Ozzy Osbourne had to be in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame like 19 years ago, but as of right now I'm just happy that he's in there before somebody like Kanye West, whom, if you have no idea, but Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne's publicly blasted this week for apparently using one of Ozzy Osbourne's songs without permission, which in all honesty I simply do not understand how you can do that in this day and age. I mean, did he think that no one would notice or what? So in case you don't know, what happened is that Kanye West requested a permission to sample Ozzy Osbourne's live rendition of Iron Man from the US festival in 1983 at a listening party for his upcoming album Vultures, which Ozzy Osbourne and his team denied.
Nice.
And not really because they don't like Kanye's music or because they're very protective of that particular live performance, but simply because they hate the guy and it is their right to do so. Yet Kanye West sampled it anyways. After which both Ozzy Osbourne, Sharon Osbourne, and gazillion other people went on social media and just blasted the guy. Ozzy wrote something like, Kanye West asked permission to sample a section of a 1983 live performance of War Pigs from the US festival without vocals and was refused permission because he's an anti-Semite and has caused untold heartache to many. He went ahead and used the sample anyway at his live listening party last night. I want no association with this man. And here's the thing, I don't actually listen to Kanye West. Like, I don't care about that kind of music whatsoever. Although I never really understood the hate between the heavy metal and rap and hip-hop artists. I thought it was just childish. And I think that absolutely every music has a right to exist and has a right to have a fan base of its own. But Kanye West, in addition to simply being an anti-Semite, is also a Ukraine hater, Putin lover, Holocaust denier, and a Hitler apologetic. So yes, I am very happy that somebody like Ozzy Osbourne, whether you listen to him or not, but publicly stood up to that. And yes, I'm happy that Ozzy Osbourne is getting nominated for this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Kanye West isn't. Although, most likely, Ozzy is being nominated here before him simply because Kanye West wouldn't be eligible until like 2027. So yeah, I guess we'll still have to wait and see who will actually get in there first. But anyways, going back to the actual Rock and Roll Hall of Fame business, if we take a look at the fan ballot, which, let me just remind you, means absolutely nothing, because we all remember how many times heavy metal bands actually, you know, won the fan ballot, but didn't actually get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yep.
But anyways, if we take a look at it right now, the top 6 of the nominees are Ozzy Osbourne, Foreigner, Dave Matthews Band, Peter Frampton, CHER, Lenny Kravitz, and Mariah Carey. Which, and I know that it sounds weird, out of this list, I actually think are great and actually do deserve to get in there.
What?
I mean, we already spoke about Ozzy Osbourne, and Foreigner is not really heavy metal, but they are one of the most influential rock bands ever, and they definitely do deserve to be in the hall. I mean, they deserve to be there like 20 years ago. And the same goes for Dave Matthews. And Peter Frampton, I mean, that guy is a legend. He's been an influence for so many of the heavy metal musicians that, I mean, he definitely deserves a spot there. And talking about CHER, Lenny Kravitz, and Mariah Carey, well, I don't really care about any of those, and I most likely would have flipped Mariah Carey with somebody like, I don't know, out of this list, OASIS. Because the only thing rock and roll about Mariah Carey is, nah, come on, there is nothing rock and roll about Mariah Carey. CHER, for example, is like 100 times more rock and roll than her. But anyways, the nominees who are making it through the fan ballot as of right now are actually okay out of this list. But here we come back to the most important thing. This list itself is extremely weird.
Exactly.
I mean, we all know that as of right now, there are only 3 metal bands in a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In a Hall of Fame which is supposed to celebrate rock and all of its follow-up genres.
They wouldn't know rock and roll if it hit them in the face. They need to stop taking Prozac and start drinking fucking beer.
And last year we almost got a 4th one with Iron Maiden kicking ass through the fan ballot, yet of course not being rock enough according to Rock and Roll Hall of Fame people. And such bands as Scorpions or Motorhead are never even being nominated and talked about by those people. And we all of course can say that none of us metal fans actually care about such awards, but the truth is that most of the bands, no matter what they say publicly, actually do care about getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And the most fun thing is that the Rock Hall people actually know it and use it to keep the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame somewhat of a elitist club, which is actually very ironic, because this is exactly what many metalheads do with our genre. But the thing is that if we're being true, they actually succeed in it. So for example, Judas Priest did not get inducted the first time they were nominated. Then for a couple of years, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame forgot about them, and only by the 3rd time they finally got inducted into the hallowed Halls of Fame, which we all of course are very happy about. But what happened between the 1st and the 3rd time? I mean, did Judas Priest suddenly become more iconic? Did they release something extraordinary that secured their spot? Well, as a huge Judas Priest fan, I can say that no, nothing actually changed for the band. And the same of course goes for Iron Maiden. Last year they were good enough to be nominated, and then this year they suddenly became less iconic or influential than Oasis or Jane's Addiction. I mean, what the flip happened during that first leg of the Future Past tour? Nothing changed, because the only way such institutions can continue living on and grabbing attention is by keeping itself a very exclusive club with absolutely untransparent rules. And I truly hope that they never change, because it gives us metalheads and rock fans something to cringe about every year. These Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or Grammy nomination ceremonies is our Santa Barbara, is our Latin telenovelas that brings the beam of light and cringe into our gloomy metalhead lives. And God allows, next year we will release exactly the same video, no matter who will actually be nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And this year, of course, we do hope that Ozzy Osbourne gets in.
So you have a more stable life now?
No.
Thanks a lot for watching this mandatory rant video, and we will prevail. Slava Ukraini!